What's going on? Facebook, Instagram. It's your boy Trey Larkins, Wise Guy Sports. Everybody go and follow Wise Guys on Twitter at Wise Guys _H. Also on Facebook, Wise Guys. And be sure to follow Wise Guys on Instagram at These Guys Know Sports. It's Tuesday, January the 13th. Man, want to come on here and discuss a few things and talk about what I witnessed Saturday night as I watched the Packers completely collapse against the Bears. Again, waiting on some people to tune in here, lock in with me. Everybody on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. It's Trey Larkins of Wise Guys Sports. Everybody remember going to follow Wise Guys on Twitter. Also on Instagram and Facebook at Wise Guys Sports. It took me a while to come on here. It took me a while. And I act like I'm okay. But deep down, I am still struggling to comprehend what just took place in that Bears-Packers game in Chicago, in Soldier Field, Saturday night. Deep down, I act like I'm okay. It hasn't even been 72 hours, and I still am struggling for what I witnessed Saturday night as I watched the Packers completely collapse in Chicago. I am not okay. I am not okay. And obviously next week in the divisional round of the playoffs, Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, they beat Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. So Josh Allen and the Bills, they will face off against Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos. Also, the Patriots and Drake May, they beat Justin Herbert and the LA Chargers. So the Patriots will face off against the Houston Texans. The Texans eliminated the Steelers last night. The Steelers and Mike Tomlin decided to part ways today. I know the reports are that Mike Tomlin stepped down, but I think it was a mutual decision between the Steelers and Mike Tomlin. And so the Steelers were eliminated from playoff contention. It's a possibility that Aaron Rodgers has played his last game as an NFL pro, and he's probably going to retire here in a few weeks. And so in the AFC, we got Bills, Broncos, Texans, Patriots, and in the NFC, we have the 49ers and the Seahawks and the Rams and the Bears. But it's not what I want to come over here and talk about. I'm still trying to comprehend what I witnessed Saturday night. And the thing is, it is hard for me. It's so many layers to this Packers-Bears matchup, and it's so many different layers to the situation, and it's so much. It's so much. And I'm going to try to talk about each individual thing in this live. Obviously, the Bears beat the Packers 31-27 Saturday night in Chicago in Soldier Field. The Bears overcame a 18-point halftime deficit. They overcame a 15-point deficit heading into the fourth quarter. And the Bears beat the Packers for the second time this season. And the Packers, their 18-point lead, is the largest blown lead in Packers playoff history. And so for me, when I look at the Green Bay Packers and why the Packers had this collapse against the Chicago Bears, there are three people who deserve blame for this Packers collapse against the Bears. Number one, Matt LaFleur. And the reason why Packers head coach Matt LaFleur deserves blame for the Packers collapse against the Bears Saturday night is multiple reasons. Number one, Matt LaFleur, for whatever reason, did not do in the second half what he did in the first half. And I always say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. In the first half, the Packers offense was rolling. They had the play action game going, and they were able to be successful with Jordan Love under center with the play action game. So they were able to have some success with Jordan Love under center, and they had a lot of play action involved with the offense. That was the formula that helped the Packers build a 18-point halftime lead. The Packers were beating the Bears 21-3 at halftime, so much so to the point where I was almost ready to go and send a text. I'm in a group text with some of my closest cousins, and we talk a lot of football, and I was ready to go send a text to the group and say, hey, we are dominating the Bears. The Packers were dominating the Bears at halftime. It was 21-3. And in the first half, Jordan Love was balling. I think Jordan Love had 139 passing yards, 3 touchdowns in the first half. And the Packers were having success with play action and Jordan Love under center. And in the second half, Matt LaFleur decided to have Jordan Love operate from shotgun instead of have Jordan Love operate from under the center and Josh Jacobs, who is an elite running back. Josh Jacobs is better when the Packers operate under center. When Jordan Love operates under center, I believe Josh Jacobs is at his best as a running back. But in the second half, for whatever reason, Matt LaFleur decided to start doing that inside zone, that zone read out of shotgun, and that made absolutely no sense. That made no sense because in the first half, the Packers offense, they were successful with Jordan Love under center with play action. But in the second half, Matt LaFleur continued to have Jordan Love in shotgun instead of under center, and he continued to hand the football off to Josh Jacobs with Jordan Love in shotgun. And it made no sense because in the first half, the Packers were successful with Jordan Love under center and with the play action. So that was one area where I felt like Matt LaFleur failed the Green Bay Packers. The second thing that Matt LaFleur also did in this particular game where he messed up in the second half was the clock management. On the Packers' second to last possession, the Packers were winning the game. It was 27-24. The Packers were at the Bears' 21-yard line. They had 2 of their 3 timeouts left. They call a timeout. They might have had all 3 of their timeouts at that point. But it's 27-24. The Packers are on the Bears' 21-yard line. It's 3rd and 10. The Packers call a timeout. And I'm not a fan of that because I believe in playoff games, you want to have all 3 of your timeouts when the game has 5 minutes left to go in the game. To me, in the fourth quarter, you want to have all 3 of your timeouts left. Like, you know how when the offense is on the field and the play clock is going down to 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, I always say take the 5-yard penalty and just take the delay of game. Take the delay of game. To me, your timeouts are more valuable than those 5 yards. But a lot of these head coaches, they value those 5 yards over their timeouts. I believe that in playoff situations, your timeouts are more valuable than 5 yards. If you have an elite quarterback or a good quarterback or an elite offense, you can get those 5 yards back. You can't get those timeouts back once you use your timeouts early in halves. So I always say, to me, the timeout is more valuable than the 5 yards. Nevertheless, it's 3rd and 10. The Packers are on the Bears' 21-yard line. They use a timeout. After the timeout, coming back into game action, the Packers get a delay of game penalty. How the hell do you get a penalty for a delay of game out of a timeout, Matt? Matt LaFleur, what the hell is going on here? Like, I could not believe what I was watching. Like, I'm sitting there watching the game thinking, what the hell was going on? How do you get a delay of game penalty out of a timeout? Like, that made absolutely no sense. Can somebody please comment on the live and tell me what the hell was Matt LaFleur doing as a Packers head coach in that moment? Somebody, how the hell do you get a delay of game penalty after a timeout? So instead of it being 3rd and 10, it became 3rd and 15. Packers did not convert on 3rd down. They had to settle for a field goal, which leads me to Brandon McManus. In this game, Brandon McManus missed a 55-yard field goal before halftime. That would have put the Packers up 24-3 at the half. But I gave Brandon McManus a pass for missing that 55-yard field goal. That's a long field goal. It's a long field goal. But on the Packers' second to last possession, it's 4th and 15. It's a 44-yard field goal for Brandon McManus. Mind you, McManus had already previously missed a field goal before halftime, and he missed the extra point on the Packers' last touchdown. Packers scored a touchdown. Under 7 minutes left to go in the game. They went up 27-16. He missed the extra point. So it's 4th and 15. It's 27-24. If the Packers actually make the field goal and Brandon McManus does his job, it's 30-24. So even if the Bears scored a touchdown, which they did, you only need a field goal to win the game. But even if Brandon McManus misses both field goals, if you make the extra point, when the Bears scored their go-ahead touchdown, it would have been 31-28. Instead, because Brandon McManus cannot do his one job properly, it was 31-27. So Jordan Love and the Packers needed a touchdown to actually win the game instead of a field goal to actually tie the game and possibly send the game into overtime. Brandon McManus has one job as the Packers kicker, and this dude cost the Packers 7 critical points. 7 critical points. 2 missed field goals and 1 extra point. Those 7 points could have been the difference. The Packers could have beaten the Bears 34-31 and avoided arguably the biggest collapse in playoff history. But Brandon McManus could not do the one damn job that he was signed to the Packers to do. The Packers should have left his ass in Chicago in the South Side. They should have left him in Chicago in the South Side. He should not have been allowed back on the team flight to Green Bay. Damn it. I want Brandon McManus gone. I hope the Packers general manager, Brian Gutekunst, they need to cut Brandon McManus today. He should not have been allowed back on the team flight to Green Bay. They should have left his ass in Chicago in the South Side. Seriously. That was absolutely ridiculous. That's 7 points that he cost the Packers in this playoff game. 7 points. So Not only was it Matt LaFleur's fault for why the Packers had this epic collapse, Brandon McManus also was a reason why the Packers had this epic collapse. 7 points he cost the Packers in that collapse Saturday night in Chicago. But it ain't just Brandon McManus and Matt LaFleur who deserve blame. Defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley also deserves blame. Even without Micah Parsons and Devontae Wyatt, how the hell does the Packers defense give up 25 points in the fourth quarter? 25 points? Jeff Hafley, your defense couldn't get one stop. One stop, and the Packers win the game. One stop. One. Damn it. Without Micah Parsons, without Devontae Wyatt, without Edgerrin Cooper, we should have been able to get one stop. I cannot believe that the Packers defense gave up 25 points to the Bears in the fourth quarter of a playoff game. I cannot even, oh my God. What? Jeff Hafley, I need answers, bro. I think Jeff Hafley has done a tremendous job as Packers defensive coordinator this year. I like Jeff Hafley. And there were moments this year where teams were saying that they might be interested in Jeff Hafley as their future head coach. I like Jeff Hafley a lot. I think he's a great defensive coordinator. But he deserves some of this blame as well because the Packers defense gave up 25 points in the fourth quarter in that wild card game against the Bears. That is inexcusable. That's unacceptable, Jeff Hafley. That's unacceptable. So the 3 people that I want to blame the most for the Packers collapse are Matt LaFleur, Brandon McManus, and Jeff Hafley. I still cannot believe that the Packers lost that game Saturday night in Chicago. Seriously, I cannot believe it. And so when it comes to Matt LaFleur, because now there are discussions about whether or not the Packers should move off of Matt LaFleur and bring in another head coach for this Green Bay Packers team. Honestly, Saturday night, when we collapsed against the Bears Saturday night, in my mind, I was ready to fire Matt LaFleur immediately. Saturday night, witnessing what I saw as I watched that game, I wanted Matt LaFleur gone. I wanted him gone. Along with Brandon McManus, I did not want Matt LaFleur to be allowed back on the team flight to Green Bay. I wanted his ass gone Saturday night. I'll be honest with y'all. Saturday night was a rough night for me. Thank God for Don Julio. Thank God for Don Julio. I could not sleep Saturday night. I could not sleep Saturday night. And if anybody on this live actually know me personally, I have no issue sleeping at night. None. I sleep like a baby every single night. And Saturday night, I could not sleep to save my life. Thank God for Don Julio for helping me feel a little bit better. Thank God. But Saturday night, I wanted Matt LaFleur fired. And I wanted the Packers to move off of Matt LaFleur. I wanted him gone. And I say all that to say, we've all been in relationships and marriages. And after you get into a disagreement or an argument with your partner, you're ready to break up. Depending on the significance of the argument or the disagreement, in that moment, you want to break up with your partner. And you never want to be in a relationship with them ever again. But usually, after you take some time to think about the relationship and how much you actually care about the person and the things that y'all been able to do that are successful together and the happy moments that y'all have had, usually after a few days, once the emotions have went away and you're able to have a clear mind, usually you end up working things out with your partner. And so for me, yes, I wanted Matt LaFleur fired Saturday night. But after taking some time to think about it, and I'll be honest with y'all, after listening to Ben Johnson, the head coach of the Chicago Bears, in the locker room after the Bears beat the Packers, Ben Johnson on camera, F the Packers, F the Packers, F the Packers, F the Packers. This is Ben Johnson. And I remember when Ben Johnson first got the Bears head coaching job, he said in his press conference about how he enjoys beating Matt LaFleur twice a year. So it ain't just about the Bears-Packers rivalry. It's personal for Matt LaFleur and Ben Johnson. And I'm hearing Ben Johnson say all these things about the Packers and Matt LaFleur. And after taking some time to actually think about everything that transpired Saturday night, honestly, when I woke up Monday morning, in my mind, I'm like, I want the Packers to keep Matt LaFleur. I want the Packers to bring Matt LaFleur back as our head coach for the 2026 NFL season. But I don't want Matt LaFleur back with a new contract extension. Matt LaFleur has 1 year left on his current contract. And to me, because of Matt LaFleur's inability to win playoff games, because Matt LaFleur, his regular season record and playoff record combined is 76-43-1, I believe. I believe it's 76-43-1. I'm sorry, I'm completely wrong. Matt LaFleur's regular season record and playoff record is 79-46-1. So Matt LaFleur has won 63% of his games. But in the playoffs, Matt LaFleur is 3-6 as Packers head coach. And in his last 5 playoff games, he's 1-4. So my issue with Matt LaFleur is he hasn't been able to make adjustments in playoff games. And the Packers have had special teams issues in multiple playoff games in the Matt LaFleur era. I remember in the 2021 NFL season, Aaron Rodgers had an MVP season. The Packers were the #1 seed in the NFC, and the road to the Super Bowl had to go through Lambeau Field. We are in the divisional round of the playoffs. The 49ers, who have been Aaron Rodgers' kryptonite, they came to Green Bay, came to Lambeau Field, and the Packers had a better roster than the 49ers had that year. But the Packers, they were beating the 49ers 10-3, and the Packers offense had stalled in the second half against the 49ers. But I was content with the Packers beating the 49ers 10-3. So it's 10-3. The Packers are punting the football inside their own 10-yard line. The 49ers, they block the punt, they recover the punt, and they score a touchdown, and the game is tied 10-10. The 49ers end up kicking a game-winning field goal and beat the Packers 13-10 at Lambeau Field that Saturday night in 2021. It was one of the more painful playoff losses that I could ever remember as a Packers fan. And that was under Matt LaFleur's watch. I think the special teams coordinator at the time was Maurice Drayton. And the Packers had already had special teams issues throughout the season. And instead of firing Maurice Drayton, Matt LaFleur remained loyal to Maurice Drayton, and it hurt the Packers in the biggest moment of the season. And it honestly cost the Packers that playoff game against the 49ers. The 49ers blocked that punt. They recovered the punt. They scored a touchdown. It was 10-10. And then they had a game-winning field goal at the buzzer, and the 49ers beat the Packers 13-10. That loss, in my eyes, was on Matt LaFleur. The offense for the Packers also, they were inconsistent in the second half, but the Packers defense played sensational in that particular game against the 49ers. The 49ers only scored 3 points. No, they scored. Well, they got a field goal. So they scored the 49ers in that game offensively. They scored 6 points in that game. 6 points. And you beat the Packers at Lambeau, scoring only 6 points as an offense. That was because of the Packers' struggles on special teams. Let's fast forward to 2023. It's the 2023 NFL playoffs. The Packers were in the divisional round of the playoffs. They had beat the Cowboys on wild card weekend the previous week. So the Packers were in the divisional round against the 49ers. We are in the fourth quarter. The Packers were beating the 49ers 21-17. This time, it's under 7 minutes left to go in the game. It's a 41-yard field goal from Carlson, the previous Packers kicker. Andrews Carlson. Packers were up 21-17. If they make the field goal, they go up 24-17. And even if the 49ers score a touchdown, the game would be tied. Instead, Anders Carlson misses the field goal, and the 49ers get the football back, and they have all the momentum. And instead of it being 24-17 Packers, it's 21-17 Packers. Brock Purdy leads the 49ers down the field. They score a go-ahead touchdown, and the Packers lose that game to the 49ers. The 49ers beat the Packers 24-21. And in that game, special teams cost the Packers yet again another playoff win. These both playoff games that I have mentioned are both under Matt LaFleur. So there's been multiple times in the Matt LaFleur era where special teams has hurt the Packers at key pivotal moments in key playoff games. And this is the third time where special teams has basically cost the Packers a playoff win. The third time in the Matt LaFleur era. So one of the reasons why I wanted Matt LaFleur fired after the Packers collapsed against the Bears was because of his struggles to get adjustments in playoff games, and because of the Packers special teams issues. Because if you're the head coach, you can't just be a great offensive mind or a great defensive mind. As a head coach, you have to be a person who can oversee the football team. You can't just be a great defensive mind. You can't just be a great offensive mind as an NFL head coach. You got to be great with clock management. You have to be great with being able to oversee the football team. So, like, for example, Matt LaFleur is an offensive mind. But the way that the Packers were struggling defensively in the fourth quarter, Matt LaFleur should have had a conversation with Jeff Hafley and had a conversation with his defense about containing Caleb Williams and not allowing Caleb Williams to get outside the pocket in that fourth quarter. Because in the fourth quarter, time and time again, Caleb Williams was able to get outside of the pocket. Because I think if you keep Caleb Williams inside the pocket, he struggles as a quarterback. Caleb Williams is at his best when he's outside of the pocket. And the Packers, multiple times in the fourth quarter, they lost contain as a defense. They lost containment. They lost containment as a defense. That's on Matt LaFleur and Jeff Hafley. That's on both of them. But I say all that to say, these are some of the issues that I've had with Matt LaFleur while he's been the Packers head coach. Special teams issues in playoff games, clock management, and sometimes his play calling has been an issue in playoff games during his Packers tenure as head coach. The man is 79-46-1. So he's won 63% of his games as Packers head coach. But in the playoffs, he's 3-6. And in his last 5 playoff games, he's 1-4. But despite Matt LaFleur's struggles in the playoffs, after hearing what Ben Johnson had to say about Matt LaFleur when he got the Bears head coaching job, and hearing Ben Johnson say F the Packers in the locker room after the Bears beat the Packers Saturday, I want Matt LaFleur back. And I want Matt LaFleur to want all the smoke with Ben Johnson because it's personal now. It's personal. It's personal. I want to remind Bears fans, because I got a lot of Bears fans who are texting me, calling me. I see Bears fans on Twitter, Instagram. Bears fans, they talking with their chest out right now. They talk right now. And they got every right. But after hearing these Bears fans say the things that they have said, I want Matt LaFleur back next year as my head coach. I don't want to give Matt LaFleur a contract extension. I want Matt LaFleur to come back and coach the Packers next season on the final year of his contract because it's personal now. It's personal. And I want to remind Bears fans about how much Matt LaFleur has actually dominated the Bears as Packers head coach. Not only just Matt LaFleur, but from 2014 until 2024, the Bears were 3-19 against the Packers. Let me say that again for those Bears fans who are trolling Packers fans because they had a great season against the Packers this year. From 2014 until 2024, the Bears were 3-19 against the Packers. And there was a moment where the Packers beat the Bears 9 straight times. Let me say it again for the folks in the back. There was a moment where the Packers beat the Bears 9 straight games. And from 2014 until 2024, the Bears were 3-19 against the Packers. So, Bears fans, be happy with this year where y'all beat the Packers 2 out of 3 matchups. Be happy that the Bears advance in the playoffs and have a divisional round matchup against the Rams. But I want all the smoke next season. I want all the smoke. I'm here for it. The little brother has finally punched back on Big Brother because the Packers been Big Bro in the NFC North, and they've been the big brother over the little brother in the Chicago Bears. And Matt LaFleur has honestly dominated his matchup against the Chicago Bears. But I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I think it's gonna make the Packers better. I think this gonna be. Oh, I'm ready. I'm here for it because this is the thing too, and this is also what made it hard for me to sleep the last few nights. Jordan Love outplayed Caleb Williams. Let me say it again. Jordan Love outplayed Caleb Williams in that playoff game. The Packers also won the turnover battle. So they won the turnover battle. So, like, Caleb Williams threw 2 interceptions. The Bears also fumbled the football, I believe, one time as well. Like, that's why the game was weird because the Packers dominated the football game. Another key interesting stat, which is crazy. In 3 meetings this season, the Packers have had 106 offensive snaps with the lead. The Bears have had 0 offensive snaps with the lead against the Packers this year. Let me say that stat again. In 3 meetings this season between the Packers and the Bears, the Packers have had 106 snaps offensively where they've had the lead. The Bears have had 0 offensive snaps with the lead. So to me, that tells me that Matt LaFleur and the Green Bay Packers are a better football team than the Bears are. but the Packers have to learn how to finish games. There's been 13 quarters this year between the Packers and the Bears. They had an overtime in the second matchup in Chicago. There have been 13 quarters played between the Packers and Bears this season. There's been 13 quarters played between the Packers and Bears this season. The Packers have outplayed the Bears in 9 of those 13 quarters. The 4 other quarters where the Bears outplayed the Bears outplayed the Packers in the fourth quarter of the first matchup. The Bears outplayed the Packers in the fourth quarter and overtime of the second matchup, and the Bears outplayed the Packers in the fourth quarter of the wild card game Saturday in Chicago. So, mind you, Packers don't have Devontae Wyatt, Micah Parsons, Zach Tom, Elton Jenkins. They're going to be healthy next year. They will be healthy next season. So, Bears fans, enjoy y'all moment. Enjoy y'all moment. I'm happy the rivalry back. We've been kicking y'all ass for years. We've been kicking y'all ass for years. Brett Favre was 23-13 against the Bears in his career as Packers quarterback. Aaron Rodgers, I own you. I own you. I always own you. Aaron Rodgers was 24-5 against the Bears as Packers quarterback. Jordan Love, prior to Saturday, in games that he started and finished, was 4-0 against the Bears. He's now 4-1. He's now 4-1 in games that he started and finished as Packers quarterback. So the Packers have owned the Bears for years. So Bears fans, Bears players, the city of Chicago, enjoy this year. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. I'm glad the rivalry back. I'm glad y'all finally able to punch back because we've been bullying y'all for the last 30 years. We've been bullying y'all for the last 30 years in Green Bay when we played against the Chicago Bears. So enjoy it. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Y'all got it. We'll see what y'all doing in the division round against the Rams, but we back. And that's why I want Matt LaFleur back next year. I don't want the Packers to give him a contract extension. He needs to earn it. He needs to earn it next season. But I do want Matt LaFleur back because it's personal between Ben Johnson and Matt LaFleur now. And I want Matt LaFleur to want all the smoke because I know my Green Bay Packers are going to want all the smoke next season. But those are my thoughts on that, man. I had to come on here and vent a little bit, man. I'm still struggling with it. I ain't over it. But the rivalry officially back. It's officially back. And here we go. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Everybody go follow Wise Guys on Twitter at WiseGuys_H. Also on Facebook, Wise Guys. And be sure to follow Wise Guys on Instagram at These Guys Know Sports. Be on the lookout. Got some content coming out this week, recapping the NFL wild card weekend in the AFC and in the NFC. And then I will also be previewing the NFL divisional round of the playoffs in the AFC and in the NFC. In the AFC, we got the Bills versus the Broncos, the Texans versus the Patriots. In the NFC, we have the 49ers versus the Seahawks and the Rams versus the Bears. The Elite Eight in the NFL in the divisional round of the playoffs. Wise Guy Sports will be previewing those matchups later on this week. I'm Trey Larkins signing off. Y'all enjoy y'all Tuesday. Peace.